Okay, I feel like a hypocrite. That is the beginning of this video. And it may not be the most encouraging beginning of the video, If you're watching this video, you probably feel the same way that I do. I can think about times where I've taught things, where I've posted things, and I feel so terrible about it. Because I look at my life and I'm like, you know what? I don't apply this as well as I should. Like, for example, one thing that I always like to speak on, is habits. I love to speak about habits, I love to speak about personal growth, and yet when I look at my life, I can oftentimes just really see that maybe I'm not growing the best way. When it comes to me really pouring into others, really just wanting to edify others, to lift others up, I give them great advice. I think it's so easy to give great advice, but to take your own advice is difficult. And so as I was thinking about hypocrisy and things like that, I was reminded of scripture. And let me see if I can find it real quick, because I don't want to misquote it. It was Matthew 7:16 that I was reminded of. Now I'm going to be reading out of the New English version, but the New International Version. By their fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Really, I just had to have a good look at my life. With the people around me, with the people that I've poured into, I've had to look at their fruit. I've had to look at, have I given them something that's worth something? I'm only 21 years old at the time of this recording. Actually, it is New Year's Eve today. And I'm recording this really quickly before I go to a festival. That's why I have my nice shirt on. I'm about to put on my suit jacket, look all fancy. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and post a photo here of what I look like. Me and my girlfriend, probably. I don't know. I want to love on people. I want to be able to pour into people. I want to be able to encourage them with scripture and with truth and give them wise biblical advice. Because for me, one of my core values is purpose. We are here on purpose for a purpose. And kind of my main belief about my life is that the purpose that I'm here is to help people develop their potential. I'm here to help people develop their potential using biblical principles. And so any chance that I get to talk about biblical principles and really share my heart and edify and encourage people, that's really what I want to do. But I still feel like a hypocrite. Because no matter how much I want to encourage others, I'm not always fully encouraged myself. I remember hearing this BetterHelp commercial where it was a therapist who was going to therapy. And as I think about that, I am struggling with the idea of perfection, that I should be perfect before I can help anybody else. And so I guess just two things that I really want to encourage you guys with as this quick video is being made. One, if you really want to know if you're a hypocrite, if you want to know if you're a bad guy, if you want to know that you're an imposter, if you're dealing with the imposter syndrome, feeling like a hypocrite like I do, I would say one thing is to evaluate your fruit. Like I read here in Matthew 7 verse 16, by their fruit you will recognize them. He's talking about true and false prophets. He's talking about true and false disciples, true and false teachers. He's talking about all of these things. A couple verses before then, he's going over this parable. I'll go ahead and read it. Watch out for false prophets, starting in verse 15. Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, good tree bears good fruit, but bad trees bear bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, by their fruit you will recognize them. And that's challenging, because it makes me self-evaluate. Is the fruit that I'm producing good or bad? That doesn't mean that it's all good and it's all bad. It's either all good or all bad. We're going through the process of sanctification. It's a process. It's the process of being saved, of being more Christ-like. And so as we're moving forward and everything like that, it does take a process. And I'm learning that that process isn't always beautiful. Oftentimes, especially as of recently, I've felt kind of down, I would say, kind of beating myself up, but not in the extent where I'm like hitting myself over the back of the head, but it's more so like I don't feel like I'm worthy to be pouring into other people. And sometimes I don't feel worthy of creating these videos and sharing it with you guys. And I do hope and pray that the fruit that I'm bearing is good. But I have to really just sit back and evaluate. And I think that would be the first thing that I would want to share. And the second thing is that if you want to make sure that you're not a hypocrite, if you're not being an imposter, it really does come down to pouring into yourself. There's a character side to this, and then there's a competence side to this. There's a who you are as a person type of area. Are you seeking to better other people? But then there's that what you know type of thing. I think when it comes to avoiding hypocrisy, it's really important just to sit back and to say, who am I, and do I actually know what I'm talking about? Have I done some research? Have I learned about this topic? For me, it's really easy to learn about something new and just be so excited that I want to teach other people. But there's a difference between teaching things and sharing things. Because teaching things implies authority. It implies that because you've learned that a little bit, that you now have authority over somebody. But sharing something is a collaborative effort. It's like, hey, this is what I've learned. What do you think about it? And like debating it, understanding it. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't teach other people, but I'm saying that you need to be very cautious because you will be judged more. You will be held to a higher accountability when you're teaching something. But when you're sharing something, like I'm sharing with you guys now, it's really a collaborative effort. And I would love to know, hey, drop it in the comments below. Please, please, I do not want to be alone in this. Share with me some things that maybe you feel not so strongly about. I want to build a community here. I want this to be a place where people can grow together. We're not all the best at the things that we ought to be. But when it comes to that growth and that development, really just being intentional and saying like, am I learning? Am I growing? Am I actually getting better? Or am I a hypocrite? Do I actually know what I'm talking about? Or am I pulling stuff out of my butt? I just wanted to create this quick video to really go over those 2 points. That hypocrisy will probably be something that we all feel. Now, the difference between feeling like a hypocrite and being a hypocrite is your fruit. Are you bearing good fruit? And do you actually know what you're talking about? And I think that those are 2 very important points that we need to know going forward. But this was a quick video. I hope that you guys really enjoyed it. If you like this style of content where I'm just like, kind of, I guess, vlog sharing what I'm learning, I guess that's what I would call this. If you like this style of content, please let me know down below. Click the like button. It really does help me know, like, hey, actually people like this. But if you want more stuff like this, if you want to hear more things from me, feel free to comment, share, like, subscribe. All those things really do help. But hey, my name is Milton. Thank you guys for joining me, I guess, for a moment with Milton. Maybe we'll do that title slide. Insert title slide here. Moment with Milton. Thank you guys for joining me. And until we meet again, stay safe and God bless.